Hi, I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and I want to tell you a story. Usta done died. Usta done died. Usta done died. That's something my mother would say whenever we would say, we used to have, and we used to be able to go to, and we used to. When she said, Usta done died. In other words, what you used to do is no longer around, and we're now living in the present. When I was in undergrad, I discovered weightlifting, and it was joyful to me because it's something that I could do while I studied mentally in my mind, memorizing what the facts and the figures that I needed to know. Because critical thinking is one thing, but you need the facts there to do it. When I got to graduate school, bodybuilding and powerlifting became the staple of my existence. I had a motley crew of friends who were always in powerlifting or bodybuilding competitions. Because I knew choreography, I could choreograph routines for them. Because I worked out with them, whenever they were in competition, it was as if you were too. And so the Poucho's Donut Shop that was right next to me wasn't visited for quite a while. Ooh, but when that competition would be over, we'd get back and Chris would be in there making those donuts, his grandfather's recipe, all hours of the night and early morning, and we would converge on that place like we had never eaten in our lives. But during that period of time of preparation, of waiting, you worked consistently and intentionally, knowing that the end was coming, but you had to do what you had to do. And I became very, very good at doing that. So much so that I've always had a weight room, and whenever somebody came to move something or bring something, particularly these firefighters that I use for moving, they'd look at my gym and say, who's lifting those weights? Because there were no 5 or 10 pound dumbbells in sight. I think maybe there was a 20. And I'd say, those are mine. And they'd look at me and go, yeah, they are. Sometimes I look at myself now in the body of a person who struggles with a chronic illness. And I want to go back to what I used to be able to do. I used to walk 10 miles every day. In fact, I started the Fitbit group of 10 before 10, where you get in 10,000 steps before 10 in the morning, and then I do miles throughout the day. But used to and died. And now I'm happy if I can walk a mile, go up the road, and come back. I'm very happy when I can get that in. I used to be able to work out with some of the best and to train hard daily with them was a big thing. I was a part of the group, but used to and died. And whenever you did anything that much and that intentionally, trying to find ways to live your life without it is difficult. I moved into working out 4 times a day, which was cutting up the 2-hour workouts into 30 minutes. And you just do the best that you can do for those 30 minutes. And it was wonderful and amazing. And then I couldn't do that. We're living in a space and a time where we're trying to get back to what we used to be able to do. But used to done died. I can no longer squat. I can't even squat with just the bar. I'm surely not going to slam some 45s on the end of it. If you know what I'm talking about, you know how funny that is. Used to done died. Find something that you can do consistently, lovingly. Even in our relationships, we say to one another, you used to take me places and you used to do this and used to do that. Used to and died. What can you do to show love? What can you do to show that you're still very much a part of the relationship, that you love as deeply as you loved when you first met? What can you do to let your children know that they are still your precious little baby? What can you do in your own personal spiritual life to feel like you sat in a congregation with people around you singing? What can you do to truly love your neighbor as yourself, even in a pandemic? Because Usta done died. And if walking and running 10 miles a day and lifting heavy weights was what I was supposed to do for the rest of my life, I'd be able to do it. But what I can do, what I'm wonderfully capable of doing, not only will I do it, I will do it consistently and lovingly for the rest of my days. I love you, and that won't change.